It was a cold evening in the city. The streets were crowded with people rushing home after work. Cars moved slowly through traffic while the bright lights of shops and restaurants filled the road with color. Among the crowd walked a young woman named Sarah. She looked tired, but she continued walking quietly with a small bag in her hand. Sarah worked as a maid in one of the richest houses in the city. Every day she woke up before sunrise and worked until late evening. She cleaned floors, washed dishes, organized rooms, and did whatever work her employers asked her to do. Her life was not easy. She lived in a small rented room with her sick mother. Most of her salary was spent on medicines and rent, leaving almost nothing for herself. But even though life was difficult, Sarah had one thing that made her different from many others. She was honest. That evening, after finishing her long shift, Sarah was walking home slowly. Her feet were tired and her mind was full of worries about her mother's health. Suddenly something on the ground caught her attention. Near a parked luxury car, she noticed a black leather wallet lying on the sidewalk. Sarah stopped walking. She looked around carefully. Many people were passing by, but no one seemed to notice the wallet. Curious and a little nervous, Sarah bent down and picked it up. When she opened the wallet, her heart started beating faster. Inside were several credit cards, an identity card, and a thick bundle of cash. There was so much money that Sarah had never seen that amount together in her entire life. For a moment she froze. Her thoughts started racing. With this money, she could pay the hospital bills for her mother. She could buy proper medicine. Maybe she could even move to a better place where her mother could live comfortably. Sarah held the wallet tightly in her hands. It felt like destiny had suddenly given her a chance to solve all her problems. But then another thought appeared in her mind. This money did not belong to her. Someone else must be looking for this wallet right now. Someone might be worried and searching everywhere. Sarah took a deep breath and looked inside the wallet again. She found the ID card and read the name written on it. The name was Daniel Morgan. The moment she saw that name, she recognized it immediately. Daniel Morgan was one of the richest businessmen in the entire city. His companies owned hotels, restaurants, and large office buildings. Everyone knew who he was. Sarah looked at the money one more time. Then she slowly closed the wallet. She shook her head and whispered to herself, "No, this isn't mine." Without wasting any time, she decided to return the wallet to its owner. Daniel Morgan lived in a huge mansion on a hill outside the city. The house looked more like a palace than a normal home. Tall iron gates stood at the entrance and security guards were watching the gate carefully. When Sarah finally reached the mansion, she felt nervous. Her clothes were simple and she looked like someone who did not belong in such a luxurious place. One of the guards stepped forward and stopped her. He looked at her suspiciously and asked, "What do you want?" Sarah held the wallet carefully and replied politely, "I found Mr. Morgan's wallet. I came here to return it." The guard looked surprised. He checked the wallet and immediately recognized it. After making a quick call on the radio, the gates slowly opened. Sarah walked inside the mansion. Everything around her looked expensive. The floor was made of shiny marble, huge chandeliers hung from the ceiling, and beautiful paintings decorated the walls. After a few minutes, a tall man wearing an expensive suit walked down the staircase. It was Daniel Morgan himself. He looked at Sarah with curiosity. "You found my wallet?" he asked. Sarah nodded and handed it to him. "Yes, sir. I found it near a restaurant on the street." Daniel opened the wallet and quickly looked inside. All the cards were there. The documents were there. The thick bundle of money was also inside. Then he looked at Sarah again and asked, "Do you know how much money is inside this wallet?" Sarah nodded quietly. "Yes, sir. And you still brought it back?" he asked. "Yes, sir," she replied calmly. "Because it doesn't belong to me." Daniel stared at her for a moment. Then suddenly his expression changed. "How do I know you didn't take some money before bringing it here?" he asked. Sarah felt shocked by the accusation. Her face turned pale. "Sir, I didn't take anything," she said softly. Daniel called his assistant and said, "Count the money." The assistant carefully counted every bill inside the wallet. Sarah stood there quietly, feeling nervous and embarrassed. After a few moments, the assistant finished counting and said, "Sir, the amount is complete. Nothing is missing." Daniel looked at Sarah again. She was standing silently with her eyes lowered. She didn't argue or complain. She simply looked hurt. After a moment, Daniel asked her another question. Tell me something. Why didn't you keep the money? Sarah slowly looked up and answered in a calm voice. My mother always tells me something. What does she say? Daniel asked. Sarah replied, she says poor people may not have much in life, but honesty is the one thing that truly belongs to them. Those simple words made Daniel completely silent. For a moment he remembered his own childhood. Many years ago, he had also grown up in a poor family. But after becoming rich and successful, he had slowly forgotten the values that once mattered to him. Daniel suddenly smiled. You passed my test, he said. Sarah looked confused. Test? Yes, Daniel said. I wanted to see if you were truly honest. Then Daniel walked to his desk, opened his checkbook, and wrote something on it. He returned and handed the check to Sarah. When Sarah looked at it, she was shocked. The amount written on the check was more money than she could earn in several years. Sir, I cannot accept this, she said quickly. But Daniel smiled and replied, you had the perfect opportunity to steal, but you chose honesty instead. People with honesty like yours are very rare. Then he added something that changed Sarah's life forever. From today, you don't have to work as a maid anymore. I want you to work in my company. Someone with your honesty deserves a better future. Tears slowly filled Sarah's eyes. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. Only a few hours earlier she had been walking home tired and worried about her mother. Now her entire future was changing. That night when Sarah returned home and told her mother everything, her mother hugged her with pride. Because sometimes honesty may not seem powerful at first, but it has the ability to change a person's life in ways no one expects. And that night, Sarah realized that choosing honesty was the best decision she had ever made.